friends, what a time to be alive in the world of corporate excellence. Just when we thought running a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate couldn't get more exciting, the Adani Group has graciously, oh so graciously, provided us with a spectacular masterclass in how to keep things interesting. Who needs Netflix when you have corporate drama of this magnitude? Let us start with the basics. First, take one large conglomerate, add a dash of controversy, sprinkle liberally with allegations, and voila, you have got yourself a corporate soap opera. The Adani Group, bless their enterprising hearts, has managed to turn what could have been a boring business story into a global thriller that keeps on giving thrills after thrills. Remember when your parents told you that money doesn't grow on trees? Well, apparently, they weren't thinking creatively enough. According to those party poopers at Hindenburg Research, the Adani Group has discovered the magical art of making share prices dance to their tune. It is quite simple, really. Just set up a few shell companies. The more complicated the ownership structure, the better. Sprinkle some family connections here and there and watch your stock prices soar. Who needs traditional market fundamentals when you can create your own? They say it is not what you know, but who you know. And boy, does the Adani Group know people. Their relationships with the Indian political establishment is so special. It would bring tears to your eyes. Yes, it is very mushy. It's heartwarming to see how a simple businessman from Gujarat has managed to win so many government contracts under a prime minister who coincidentally also happens to be from Gujarat. Pure serendipity, obviously. Just when we thought the story couldn't get any better, the United States decided to join the party with their pesky non bailable warrant. Because apparently spending $250 million to encourage Indian officials to look favorably upon your solar projects is frowned upon in some jurisdictions. Who knew? The Americans, with their annoying obsession with anti corruption laws, clearly don't understand the subtle art of relationship building in emerging markets. Speaking of solar projects, isn't it poetic that a scandal about solar energy has brought so much heat? The alleged $250 million in bribes, or as we prefer to call them, administrative expediting fees, was supposedly meant to ensure smooth sailing for renewable energy projects. Because nothing says clean energy quite like allegedly dirty money, right? The Securities and Exchange Board of India, more famous as SEBI, deserves a standing ovation for their masterful performance in this saga. Their investigation into the Adani Group has been moving at such a deliberate pace, it makes glaciers look hasty. Under the leadership of Madhavi Puri Butch, SEBI has demonstrated an impressive commitment to, well, we are not quite sure what, but it must be something important. Of course, no great drama is complete without its critics. India's opposition parties have been performing their role with admirable dedication, crying foul about crony capitalism and corruption. But let us be honest, isn't it a bit unsporting to complain just because a company grows exponentially under a friendly government? After all, what's the point of having connections if you can't use them? The international response to these allegations has been absolutely precious. Foreign investors, those sensitive souls, are actually concerned about governance issues and regulatory oversight. How quaint. They clearly don't appreciate the unique charm of doing business in emerging markets where rules are more like gentle suggestions and regulations are open to creative interpretation. Some institutional investors are reportedly re evaluating their exposure to the Adani Group. And translation, they are having a collective panic attack because business isn't being conducted exactly as it is taught in Western business schools. Shocking, we know. The future looks interesting. As we look ahead, the possibilities are endless. Will the US justice system continue to be such a spoilsport? Will Indian regulators eventually finish their investigations sometime in this century? Will opposition parties find new ways to link every business decision to political connections? The 2024 Indian general elections promised to be particularly entertaining, and they were. Opposition parties tried to use the Adani saga as a campaign issue because nothing wins votes quite like complex corporate governance allegations that most voters couldn't care less about. Now, for your benefit, here is the absolutely foolproof guide to build your very own corporate empire. Of course, if you're interested. Of course, results may vary. Legal counsel is advised. A note to aspiring oligarchs. Dear future titans of industry, tired of building business the old fashioned way? Exhausted from actually competing in the free market? Well, dust off your dreams and polish your political connections because, boy, do we have the guide for you, drawing inspiration from recent masters of the craft who shall remain namelessly anonymous. We present the ultimate handbook for transforming your modest business into a headline generating corporate empire. Chapter 1, Location, Location, Location. And we don't mean real estate. Forget everything you learned about strategic business locations. The most important geography lesson in modern business is ensuring your corporate roots spring from the same soil as your favorite politicians. Think of it as cosmic alignment for the billionaire age. Now, here are some pro tips. Share not just a state, but preferably a hometown with rising political stars. Maintain a robust cultural connection with their political siblings in arms. Remember, it is not about where you are, it is about who you are near. Consider political term limits as your business expansion timeline. But there is a warning. Results may be less effective in functioning democracies with strong institutional oversight. Terms and conditions apply. Chapter 2, The Art of Strategic Diversification, or How to Own Everything Without Anyone Noticing. Why be a master of one trade when you can be a jack of them all? Modern empire building isn't about specialization, it is about collecting industries like they are Pokemon cards. I hope you know Pokemon. Essential sectors to conquer. Number one, ports, because who doesn't love a good maritime monopoly? Number two, airports, to control the skies, control the lies. Number three, energy, both green and not so green. Hedge your bets. Media, to ensure your story is told the right way. Infrastructure, because someone needs to build those bridges literally and metaphorically. Remember, when accused of monopolistic tendencies, simply call it integrated synergistic growth optimization. Nobody knows what it means, but it sounds impressive. Now let's go to chapter 3, The Fine Art of Financial Gymnastics. Who needs boring old traditional financing when you can create your own monetary circus? Here is how you can do it. Number 1, Shell Company Symphony. Create more shell companies than a turtle sanctuary. Make your corporate structure so complex that even your CFO needs a map. Remember, if your organization chart doesn't look like a bowl of spaghetti, you are doing it wrong. Number two, stock market acrobatics. Master the delicate art of price discovery. Transform your family tree into a network of independent investors. Consider stock prices as more of a suggestion than a reflection of value. Number three, creative accounting masterclass. Learn to make numbers dance like they are auditioning for a Broadway show. Perfect the art of the strategic write off. Remember, balance sheets are just another form of creative writing. Now, let us go to chapter 4, the 3 Ds of crisis management, now enhanced. When those pesky allegations start flying, and darling, they will, master this essential skill. Number one, deny. With the confidence of a peacock at a chicken convention, until the evidence is taller than your headquarters building. Even when caught red handed, deny the existence of hands. Number two, deflect. Like a professional cricket player facing career ending questions. Blame global conspiracies, foreign powers, or Mercury in retrograde. Master the art of answering questions with unrelated questions. Number 3D is delay until investigators retire or lose interest, until the statute of limitations becomes your best friend, until everyone forgets what they were investigating in the first place. And here is a bonus D, distract. Launch a new green initiative. Announce ambitious projects in developing nations. Sponsor a cricket team. It works especially when in South Asia. Now let us go to chapter 5, which is regulatory navigation or how to make investigations age like fine whiskey. Remember, regulatory investigations are like premium whiskey. They should age slowly in bureaucratic barrels and get lost in the back of filing cabinets. They should cost more than they are worth. Leave everyone with a headache. Now, there are some advanced techniques too. File so much paperwork that forests file complaints. Submit documents in font sizes visible only to election microscopes. Respond to every query with 1000 pages of irrelevant information. Now let us go to chapter 6, which relates to international relations, a guide to global networking. When expanding globally, remember, sovereign borders are your best friends. International investigations are just opportunities for diplomatic relations. Non bailable warrants are merely strongly worded suggestions. Different jurisdictions mean different opportunities for creative compliance. Remember, aspiring empire builders, true greatness isn't achieved by following rules, it is achieved by rewriting them. Your corporate structure should be as complex as quantum physics, your political connections as deep as ocean trenches, and your response to allegations as solid as quantum foam. But there is a disclaimer too. This guide is purely satirical. Any resemblance to actual corporate empires living or under investigation is entirely non coincidental but legally deniable. Side effects may include headline anxiety, regulatory scrutiny, and occasional summons to parliamentary committees. The author accepts no responsibility for any empires collapsed, regulations breached, or investigations triggered while following this guide. Please consult your legal team before embarking on any empire building adventures on the basis of this guide. In conclusion, the Adani Group saga reminds us that building a business empire in the 21st century is really an art form. While some might call it a scandal, others might see it as a bold reimagining of corporate governance norms. After all, why let little things like international investigations, regulatory scrutiny, and public outcry get in the way of a good success story? As we eagerly await the next episode in this corporate drama, one thing is certain: the Adani Group has given us all a valuable lesson in thinking outside the box. Way outside the box, actually. And isn't that what business innovation is all about? Remember, folks, in the grand theater of global business, it is not about whether you win or lose. It is about how creatively you play the game. And in that respect, the Adani Group deserves a standing ovation, or perhaps a quote someone's. Only time will tell.